Being a SpongeBob fan, one of the most critical things we focus on is the consistency of the show. I mean, it's the entire reason why the first 3.5 seasons are so well remembered. So throw all that out the window, I want to talk about the weird minor inconsistencies throughout the show that have bugged me to no end. Let's talk backyards. You probably have one, or have been in one. They're fun, right? Grass, bird baths, lawn mowing and sheds, every dad's dream. Except 124 Conch Street seems to constantly flip-flop. SpongeBob's pineapple comes fitted with a garage door on the back, but since that maniac doesn't even have a boat, he just stores stuff in there, like a reef blower. The rest of the pineapple is odd as well. Labyrinthine designs are everywhere. So we have the living room, kitchen, bathroom, staircase, bedroom, and library, and a hatch to the small roof. There's also a closet attached to the library. Pretty standard, right? Well, remember his workout room? How about the attic? The laundry room? The pantry? What about the jellyfish prepping area? The awards closet? Is that the same room where SpongeBob talked to that Krabby Patty Patrick in Gone when he was trying to hide from Bodhi? Hey, wait, what about Bodhi? This isn't the first time he's had a boat of that name. The first time was in No Free Rides. And what about that bathroom? I swear it's been on the first floor multiple times. And what's with these decorations? You don't see me hanging plastic human models on my wall. Well, maybe except for one case. And to top it off, we have the ringer. But maybe it's best we forget that one. I can ramble about SpongeBob's house all day long. Let's move on. Patrick's Rock. Plain and simple. Just a rock and a cool stick thing on top. Except the interior. Most times it's just a green chair with a box TV. Other times it's a flat layer of sand that Patrick manages to squish under. Then we get a complete flat under here. At the start of I'm With Stupid, Patrick is seen brushing and tending to his home. It's a bit deeper than expected, but just has sand furniture. Stuff like a cabinet, chair, and fishbowl. As the episode progresses, Pat designs an entire living room with decor as well as a kitchen, complete with sand fridge. And then at the end, when Janet and Marty leave, it's back to being flat. And oh, Neptune, don't even get me started on the donut of shame. Patrick wakes up, hungover from a fantastic party, only to wind up feeling guilty for eating and then regurgitating said donut. Most of the furniture is sand, but now electricity works? He can use a phone to call SpongeBob and even has light through a lamp. So does this mean there's an underground power line in Bikini Bottom? I can't remember any power poles in any episodes off the top of my head. At least one's near Pat's house. And now the TV works, complete with color? And then other episodes were back to the barren pit. And for my last example, I wanted to bring up Rise and Shine. Since Patrick apparently has multiple floors now, he has an entire pantry and again the working TV. My question, how does he get a signal underneath the rock? And since when has Patrick had a grill? To cap off the housing, we have the winner of House Fancy Prince himself, Squidward tent poles. An Easter Island head fitted with culture and style. We've seen his backyard. It's nothing special. He tried making a garden a few times, but didn't really work out. Let's go through the supposed floor plan. First floor, a kitchen, dining, and living room. Nothing crazy, some simple furniture, an oven, and a closet. And then we get the complete mystery. What is this hallway? Where does it lead to? In Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, Sponge and Pat head back there to clean and find a storage closet. So then to the left of this room, we have the elevator. Only featured in this episode. One scene later, we see Squidward enter this hallway from the main floor, so it seems to connect to the elevator and storage room junction, and presumably also a set of stairs. Second floor, we have the art gallery. You know this room. I know this room. Full of the greatest pieces of pure culture ever put to oil. And I'm betting you forgot about the library. Yeah, Squidward has one, and it rarely shows up. Personally, I'm more a Frankenstein guy, Squidward, but hey, you do you. Alright, hey, it's me writing the script about 3 hours later. There was a comic strip titled House of Squidward that apparently featured a switch in his backyard that would activate it, kinda like a mech, similar to Good Neighbors. I searched everything. Library Genesis, Reddit posts from 6 years ago, and I can't find this. If any classic comic holders happen to have a November 2007 issue of a Nickelodeon comic, please let me know, or just something, because I've wasted too much time researching this instead of writing the script. Thanks. Alright, hey, it's me writing the script again, but now about a month later. I found the comic strip! It's pretty much just what you would expect. Besides the art gallery, we have Squid's bedroom and bathroom. Nothing special, except for this one instance in the original Plankton episode.
SpongeBob, what are you doing? I'm talking to you! SpongeBob, are you mad?
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre?
It's on the first level? Population-wise, Bikini Bottom is a really weird town. They don't seem to have a general census, just a guesstimate of the population. In Whatever Happened to SpongeBob, Bikini Bottom is given the population count of 538, soon to be 537. This does not seem possible. Look at the level of infrastructure. Buses run, airports fly planes, and they have radio stations in an entire monument of the town. It just seems way too developed for a small town. And speaking of, is Bikini Bottom even a town? Is it a city? A city-state? A town ruled by a king? Then how do other cities work? New Kelp City is clearly bigger with much more compact and urban developments. Ditto for the unnamed city and pizza delivery. Rock Bottom I can understand, it's a bit of a unique destination if you want to call it that. But what about Ukulele Bottom? Mentioned a singular time in I Was a Teenage Gary, which apparently holds jellyfish conventions, which leads me to assume this is where I'm Your Biggest Fanatic takes place, except SpongeBob and Kevin go to Jellyfish Fields. So is SpongeBob just a big enough jellyfishing fan that he'd go to multiple? Probably, yeah. Oh my Neptune, I just checked the wiki and found out Ukulele Bottom is actually featured in the Patrick Star Show. Apparently Ian Vasquez, one of the crew members for the episode, gave a description comparing it to being a suburban area under Bikini Bottom. He likened it to Burbank and Los Angeles in California. What about Atlantic City? Everywhere outside just seems to be a destitute wasteland, and I guess I'd consider Tentacle Acres similar to Ukulele Bottom, just being a neighborhood or suburb in the town itself. It's not called Squidville, for the love of God. There's also Dolesville, which really only shows up in Plankton Retires. This is the last city, I promise, but what about Jetsam City? Besides looking absolutely awesome in this art, seriously guys, modern SpongeBob backgrounds are insane. Like, look at this detail, look at the resolution. Holy fish paste. This place is way more urban than Bikini Bottom, I'd say. Guess what? I lied. We're going back to building layouts, yippee! The Krusty Krab is a monster. Leftmost door connects to Mr. Krabs' office, second from the right is the entrance to the kitchen, and farmost right is the bathrooms, right? No. Sometimes it's a storage room, like in Imitation Krabs, or other times it's connected to the kitchen itself, which is also connected to a freezer that shows up a few times, like SB129 or Truth or Square. There's also a hidden break room crammed between the two doors. The kitchen is interconnected to Krabs' office, but also has a back door, which leads to the dumpster area. So then this means that there's like a garbage truck or something that comes by to pick up the garbage, because, you know, you'd have to put like the trash out of the front. That's how most places do it. But then also in Sailor Mouth, there's like a guy who comes by and he picks the trash up manually and doesn't have a truck, even though we've also seen like dump trucks and like garbage trucks throughout the entire series. Guys, I'm so lost. I'm going off script. I just remembered this. And then you have this sick storage area near the top above Squidward that just never gets used. I'd love to have a peek up there, but we also have a drive-thru, and have had one forever, it seems. It first appeared in Pizza Delivery, but never really got any attention until the name of the episode of the same name. Who runs it? Squidward? What is the deal with Gary's shell? I think it's a similar Patrick situation again, where it can really just be anything, kind of like a pocket dimension if you want. In Karate Island, we see SpongeBob explore around and find a bunch of old stuff like shirts, or in Pineapple Invasion, he has stuff like a magic 8-ball and a clarinet. That's all I had for this topic. I kind of ran out of ideas at this point. Is the Krusty Krab to the right or left of Conch Street? It constantly changes and flips. Wait, Krabs a la mode shows to the right, SpongeBob's left, and other episodes like Can You Spare a Dime concur with this. But Help Wanted shows it's to the left, SpongeBob's right, from the very start. Bummer Vacation muddies the waters even further with the Krusty Krab apparently now being a straight shot. But what about the Chum Bucket? Does this episode canonically take place before it was built? Am I reading too far into a kid's cartoon? Then in the same episode, like 4 minutes later, the straight shot has switched to a junction again with no Chum Bucket. Then even later, Krabs takes SpongeBob away from the Krusty Krab, driving to stage left. What kind of cosmic plaything, eldritch abomination, horror location is Bikini Bottom? I'm losing sleep over this. And then probably one of the most questioned elements, who the absolute barnacle rules Bikini Bottom? First answer is obviously King Neptune. You know, the guy who rules the ocean, has a Poseidome named after him. Wait, Poseidon? Oh, Neptune. His kid, who featured in a very okay at best special, is named Triton, who gets his name from the sea god of the same name. Yada yada yada, you've probably heard this before. But Mindy gets no explanation from me. And yeah, there was the first movie blacklisting the characters from showing up in the main series for a while, But how is she related? Is she actually just his daughter? Did Triton die or something and have a second kid break apart Neptune and this lady's marriage? And because of the immense stress, he went bald. Oh my Neptune and / or Poseidon. Guys, I've become a SpongeBob theory YouTuber by accident. This one is less of an inconsistency and more just a general question. Is SB129 a stable time loop? Squid wants to avoid jellyfishing with Sponge and Pat, so he hides in the Krusty Krab freezer, only to wind up in the chrome-laced future. He uses a time machine, meets up with these two intellectuals, and teaches them how to jellyfish. When Squid returns to his home time period, he learns he is the father of jellyfishing. Surely this would have other side effects, right? And speaking of time travel and side effects, what about the entire episode dedicated to it? Back to the Past has the main crew heading back in time and changing stuff in the— Hey wait, there's another Bikini Bottom population sign! This one can't be far back. Maybe only like 40 to 60-ish years at most? No, I can't afford another tangent. The crew accidentally screws up and messes up a tartar saucy plan and returns home to find the town of literally 1984. Then they go back in time and the episode kind of just starts to compound on itself more and more. What even happened in Dunces and Dragons? That episode also had time travel, but Sponge and Pat didn't even use a time machine. Is this what happened with Season 3's Ugg or 13's Dopey Dick? Can I ragdoll myself into the past? And still speaking of the Krusty Krab, how about that menu? I feel like it changes so often. Jelly patties, hot dogs, coral bits, number ones, a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft, 4x4 animal style, extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze, light axle grease, make it cry, burn it and let it swim, diet Dr. Kelp, and one time even a salad bar. Oh my god, I did that on the first take. Oh my god. Or I guess 2 times if we count bossy boots and, you know, the whole cuddly crab stuff. Again, we still just have Krusty Krab pizzas, a Dalton pipsqueak-sized patties, milkshakes, a triple Krabby Supreme with kelp bun, or a double batter fried patty on a stick with mayo. But like, your makeshift product is just the Krabby Patty. How many like different variations of other things do you need to get? Like milkshakes. Who gets milkshakes? There's a lot of inconsistencies in the show. I just wanted to point out some of the ones that haven't left my brain since like 2008. So I guess you could say in regards to pacing, this video has been pretty inconsistent. I've been Btan. Thanks for watching.